Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. For those who don't know, we're all about bringing science, adventure, and conservation into classrooms across North America. My name is Joe Grabowski. I'll be your host for today, and I'm so excited to be continuing this lesson series with the Aquarius Reef Base and the Florida International University. So we've run Hangouts with them last school year, and we've run an amazing series of Hangouts with them this year so far. So I'm going to introduce you to those joining us today. We have Carlos joining us from Mission Control. Carlos, how are you doing today?
Hi, how's everyone doing?
All right, give a wave to the camera, guys. All right. And then we have our guest of honor joining us today from the bottom of the ocean. We have Roy joining us, and Roy is doing something pretty cool. He's working with the Teacher Under the Sea program, and he's studying sharks and their impact on the coral reef, but he's going to tell you a little bit more about that today. So I'm going to turn things over to Carlos, and he's going to...
Hello, Joe. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Carlos.
Yep, I've got you, Carlos. You're good.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. So Aquarius Reef Base is the world's only undersea lab. It was deployed in 1993, 60 feet beneath the surface here in the Florida Keys. At Aquarius, scientists conduct research on coral reefs, ocean acidification, climate change, fisheries, and the overall health of the oceans. Aquarius is also globally significant because it allows astronauts to train for missions, simulate conditions in space, and test undersea technology. So I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you guys so you can see my current location and see where Roy is located.
This is all cool.
Okay, so it seems like this tool isn't working. But I am located in Isla Morada. That's in the Florida Keys. And Roy is located in a coral reef called Conch Reef. He is approximately 6 miles away from us, and to get from here, from the watch station, which is where I'm at right now, and visit Roy, that would take me about 45 minutes. And sometimes when the weather conditions are not do not cooperate, it may take me 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it seems like we're close, but yet if we go take a boat there, it would take us quite some time to get there. So like I said, I'm currently in Mission Control, and here at Mission Control we have a watch desk. This allows us to monitor the divers and see provide support in case that they need any assistance. So today we have Roger Garcia, he is the director of operations here on the watch desk, to tell you more about what he monitors in the screens that he has. Hi, Roger.
Hey guys, how are you?
So here we have Roger Garcia. He's the director of operations here in the watch desk, and he's going to tell you more about what he monitors in the screens that he has here.
Wow, there's a lot of people out there. How you guys doing? All right, let me take you around real quick. Film the cool stuff. Right. Good. Yeah. All right. So I hope you can hear me. What you guys are looking at now, these are the camera feeds that are either inside or outside the Aquarius.
You guys wave at the camera. He's showing the cameras.
So what I want to do for you, even though Roy is going to give you a tour inside. It's there. Yeah. I'm going to show you the inside of the habitat. Okay, guys. So that's what it looks like inside the habitat. So you have a few of the scientists inside eating lunch right now. But then Roy's going to go ahead and, hey, there's Roy. So he's going to give you a more detailed tour inside here in a little bit. All right, so if you look to the other screen, can't get too quick. All right, so on this screen, what I have is I can monitor a lot of the life support systems. Okay, I know what compressors are running, and the compressors provide air for the habitat. That way the aquanauts can breathe. Okay, and then I also can communicate with them. So bring the camera over here. Okay, so Carlos is going to put the camera on these phones. All right, so I can communicate. I can communicate with the aquanauts underwater with the same kind of phone that you guys have at home. Okay, and then over on this side, we have a computer that I can communicate with the aquanauts as well. We type in messages like a chat. All right, guys.
Thank you, Roger.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we want to take you inside the habitat with Roy. So thanks again.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for that little tour, Carlos. Thanks for showing us mission control. Roy, I'm going to throw it down to you now. I'd love it if you could take a little bit of time to tell us a little bit about what you're up to down there.
I will. I tell you what, let me start off and I'll give you guys a tour real quick, and then I can tell you about the science we're doing, and then I can answer any questions you have. Would that be okay with you, Joe?
Sounds awesome. Perfect, Roy.
All right. So what I'm sitting at right here is the very front of the bow of the habitat, and we get to look out this screen, and there's really not a lot of fish that you can see right now, but this is where we also watch out at night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and then walk you through the habitat and show you all the cool things that are here. So I'm going to turn the camera around and then walk you through. I'm standing at the very front, and we're going to walk all the way down there, and it doesn't sound very far, but it's about the size of a school bus to the back of this place. So I'm going to walk a little bit, and I'm going to turn around and look back at that window. So that's where we started. These are our bunks. And we just got in for a dive, so they're a little bit messy right now. But normally we make them. Okay, so let me turn back around. And now we're facing out. Okay, we're facing back to the back again. Okay, we come in here and we have a refrigerator just like you guys have. And what's really cool is a very famous astronaut signed it right here. I really like looking at that every day. And we also have these stickers that NASA left everywhere from when they were doing their experiment. So this is the famous little table that you just saw. And then if you guys watch on the internet, this is Frances. She is our shark scientist. They said hello. Hello. And this is where we eat our meals and do some work. And we have this fabulous, fabulous view right out this window. We don't want to go to sleep at night because we're watching out here. Last night we were watching, there's a shark out here. There's a big grouper out here. It was really pretty cool. If you look back to the back, right up there is that camera you guys were looking at a little bit ago. Okay, and we have Aline. He's the lead scientist here. He's the one leading all the research on this mission. We have all the panels that control our oxygen, and they all control the pressure that's down here. And we'll talk about pressure in a minute. And they control our electricity and everything else. So I'm going to turn back to the back again. We're going to walk this way. This is our little kitchen area. As you see, we have a little coffee pot that we still get coffee down here, which is really pretty cool.
Is it warm?
It is not warm. Okay, so we have some microwave. If you notice, we have a dial, because if we had buttons on the microwave, the pressure down here would push all the buttons in and it wouldn't work very well. Matter of fact, my watch blew up. It just kept beeping all the time, so I had to smash it with a hammer. So when we're eating, we have like regular... They're smashing my watch again with a hammer. Okay, we have breakfast skillet. We have scrambled eggs with ham. I almost said green eggs and ham. You tell I teach fifth grade.
May I say something to them?
Yep, hold on. Aline wants to say something to you. Our lead
You guys
scientist.
have the best teacher ever. He is fantastic.
They're all looking at yes. As you see, so all this food that we eat is dehydrated food. We just add hot water to it, and it's just almost as good as Mom makes, but not as good as Mrs. Bartnick makes, for the record. And up here, we have all our snacks. So we're kind of low. I think we're in our last can of Pringles right now. We've been eating pretty hard. So now I'm going to face back to the back one more time. Matter of fact, you see Aline, he's making himself some coffee here. So we're going back some more, and we're going through these big hatches. We had all our sonar equipment set up, and the sonar equipment would sound like a bat. It would sound out a noise into the water, and when it sees something, it would bounce back. So we were looking to see if there were sharks in the area, and we were watching all the fish swim around, and we saw a bunch of sharks on this sonar out here. Then we'd all run to the window to go see the shark outside the window. And as you see, we're packing up because we're actually getting ready to leave here. We're going to start getting ready to go here in about another couple hours. So we'll come over here. There's another workstation where we look, but again, the view. There is usually a school of about 500 to 700 fish hanging out here. Okay, and now I'm going to take you to the coolest room in the whole place. This door is kind of like Star Wars, Star Trek. It's a 900-pound door, and we have to use this to open it. So I'm going to use this, and it's going to open up kind of like a space door. And we see Roxy. She keeps us all alive down here. She makes sure that everything's working that way it's supposed to. Here.
You want to pull up that? I got lots of wet stuff.
Hold on just a second.
You want to pull up that?
This is Ben. He is our sonar scientist. You want to say hi, Ben?
I have to go to you or to come to me?
And
Well, looks like we had Roy blink out, but usually he's able to pop back in pretty quickly. So we'll just we'll give him a second to do that.
I was just gonna say hi.
So boys and girls, I hope you're enjoying the tour so far. Looks like it's just the most amazing place to be able to spend a week. And look, there's Roy. He's back already. Hey, Roy.
All right. Hang on. All right. So this is, as you see, we have some support divers coming in. And what it is they're starting to bring all our stuff out. These big, heavy pots. It's like a big pressure cooker. They put all our materials in there. They go under the water, and then they bring it back to the surface and release the pressure. This way nothing gets crushed or explodes on us. We had a couple cans we brought down here, like green beans, and the cans exploded when we brought them in. So let me step around a little bit. We have a little shower here, and the shower has a really another cool window. And usually there's a bunch of fish swimming right here, but they're probably scared away by the divers right now. But this pool right here, if you guys ever held a cup upside down in water, and then how inside the cup the air stays there, it stays dry. This is the same thing. All the air pressure here keeps the water out. And it looks like you can just swim right there and you just go out. But really, if you swim out right there, you're 60 feet underwater still. We have our little pets that hang out right here. These are the little fish that kind of hang out right here on our ports. A lot of times we just come out here and put our feet underneath the water. And then underneath, you see all our diving gear. Okay, and we store it down at the bottom of this moon pool underneath here. This way we can just put it on and go swimming. And let me show you what one of those looks like real quick. This is the diving gear we use. It's two big, heavy tanks. And this is about 120 pounds that we swim with every day. Now, what's kind of neat is when we run out of air in the pool, we just swim in. They give us a big hose. We refill the tanks up with more air, and we can go back out. So normally we're out for 2.5 hours in the morning, and then we'll take about another 2-hour dive in the afternoon. And at night is about another hour, hour and a half. Now, we just finished our last morning dive. And let me turn this around for you. We just finished our last dive. And then what's going to happen now is we're starting to get ready to recompress. So let me tell you about that. Let me open this door and get out of here because they're working. Here we go. Okay, so what's going on now is they're packing all our electronics out and all our food, extra food out, and our clothes out, because right now we're at this pressure. It's like when you go down the bottom of a 10-foot pool, you feel it popping in your ears. We're 60 feet down, so we have 2.5 times that pressure on us right now from the normal walking around. So what they're going to do is in a 17-hour period, they're going to slowly release the pressure and get the nitrogen out of our bodies so we can come back to the surface and without having to go to the hospital. Right now, if we don't do that, if we just swim out and went to the surface, we'd have to go to the hospital because we would get the bends and they'd have to put us in a special machine so we could be alive. So this is a long process. We'll start breathing oxygen here about 4 o'clock. And then overnight, they'll equalize the pressure. And tomorrow morning, we will swim up and we will see the sun for the very first time in 7 days. So let me walk back to the other room where we started, and I'll let Joe answer the question real quick.
All right. Roy, that is so awesome. It sounds like you've had just an incredible experience down there, and the view as a diver, to be able to dive that long and that many times in a day, just phenomenal. I'm really jealous of what you've been up to. Let's start meeting.
Phenomenal down here.
Yeah. All right. Let's start meeting some of our classrooms. So our very first classroom that I'm going to introduce is a group of students from New Jersey. So I'm going to turn their microphone off if you guys are on. If you guys want to wave to the camera and ask Roy a question.
Okay, we're waving. All right, I'm looking for someone to ask a question. Yes. Deb, come on. Ralston, come on up. Okay. Ralston, come on up. Sorry. Okay, Ralston, come on up and ask your question right over here. Right here, buddy.
For how long have you been down there?
We have been down here 7 days. 7.
Okay, do we have time for one more?
Go ahead with one more quick question.
Okay, come on up. Anthony, come on up. Come on up. Okay, what did you want to ask? Right here. Here's the camera. Come on.
How do you guys get Wi-Fi under the sea?
That's a good question. What it is we have this big buoy that sits up on top of the surface, and it has these big cables. It's about the size of your leg. And it comes down to us, and in that cable, it brings down electricity for us, it brings oxygen down for us, and it brings the Wi-Fi signal down for us. So we can talk on the internet like we're doing now. We can answer emails. Matter of fact, we were watching some Netflix the other day.
All right, great questions, guys. Let's meet our next classroom. So we have grade 3 students, and they are from Lee Scott Academy. And I'm going to turn your microphone on, and you guys can go ahead with some questions.
Hey. So what are your questions, guys?
How do you know when you've run out of oxygen when you're diving?
You know pretty quick. But what happens is you go like to take a breath and there's nothing else there. So what we do is we do lots and lots of practice drills to where you and your dive buddy were always within about 10 feet of each other. You just go tell them you're out of air and you want to share air. And then if you've been really, really nice to them, they give you one of their hoses. And
all right, good question. One more quick question from our group at Lee Scott Academy.
What is the biggest shark that y'all have seen?
we saw a big bull shark here the other night. How long did you say he was?
8 feet.
He's about 8 feet long. There's been a couple nurse sharks that basically follow us around out here sometimes.
All right, let's jump to, we have a class, Mrs. Golchinsky's. Grade 3 class is joining us from Wisconsin. Your microphone's on if you have a couple questions for Roy.
Okay, what's your question?
Have you swam with a dolphin yet?
Not on this trip, but my wife and I scuba dive all the time, and we have swam with the dolphins before, but there haven't been any here.
We have one more.
Okay.
Have you swam with a shark?
Actually, I did. The other day we were putting out chum, which is about a bunch of chopped up frozen fish. And this nurse shark just kept following me around. So I was trying to get away, but still film her, but still try to stay out of her way. But she followed me kind of like a puppy for a little bit.
All right, awesome, guys. Thanks for your questions. Our next class is joining us from San Antonio, from Scobie Elementary, Mrs. Noriga's and Mr. Todd's class. Let me get your microphone on. All right, guys.
What are you studying? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
What are you guys specifically studying? What is it that you're studying what is it that you're doing and studying underwater?
We are studying the how sharks impact the ecosystem down here. And a matter of fact, if you give me 1 second, I'll flip the camera around. They are just now a graph.
Oh, we've had Roy drop out again, but that's not surprising. He's calling from the bottom of the ocean. He's back already.
All right. All right. So, but that graph, that graph I was showing you is all the data we've been collecting all week. We're putting it in to see how fish eat when sharks are around and how fish eat when sharks are not around. And what's really cool is we had a noisemaker that when we turned it on, it sounded like a fish that was having trouble, and we were trying to trick the sharks into coming in. And that didn't work out so well, so we started using all that frozen dead fish out here, and then they started coming in a little bit more.
All right, guys, go ahead with the second question.
Okay, so what's happening with the reefs?
Well, with all the pollution going on, and then we're not taking care of the reefs very well, there's just so much going on. They're starting to die a lot. So one of the things that we're studying is what's happening to the sharks now that coral reefs are dying. There's not a lot of fish for them to eat. Are they moving somewhere else? Are they just disappearing? But there's a lot of studies going on to see how we can save the coral reefs because they are going away.
All right. Well, great questions from the group so far. We actually have a big group joining us from Chisholm Elementary.
And that's my school.
That's right, in Enid, Oklahoma. Let me turn the microphone on because I have a feeling they're going to be pretty loud, but let's see. Enid, Oklahoma, can you guys hear me? If you can, let's get nice and loud. There they go. We lost that, guys. Try that one more time. Nice and loud for us. Well, they seem to be on a little bit of a delay, Roy, but let's give things a try. Enid, Oklahoma, if you can hear us, give us a big wave and a big shout. That's better. There we go. All right. Well, guys, since Roy's there, he's a teacher at your school, we're going to give you guys 3 questions if you want to come up and ask your questions. We missed that. Can you get a little closer to the microphone?
Can somebody repeat that?
How many teachers are underneath the sea?
How many teachers are under the sea? Right now, it's just me. Just me. I'm the only one this whole year.
What is the
Could you repeat that, Lindsay? What's the most dangerous thing I've encountered down here?
Interesting.
The most interesting.
Oh, most interesting? It's probably this guy, Ben. But I really love puffer fish, so I kind of follow them around a lot, and I just love the way that they eat and puff air into the dirt. So to me, that was the most interesting because I get to follow them around. But we saw a lot of eagle rays swimming around here. We saw the sharks swimming around here, and there's this big, huge grouper who's probably about 3,000 or 4,000 pounds swimming around outside our window a lot.
All right, we've got one more question.
Okay.
Do you like it better on land or in the sea?
I still didn't hear you.
Do you like it better on land or in the sea?
Do I like it better on land or under the sea?
Yes.
Well, the correct answer is I love being on land with Mrs. Bartnick there at the school, but I do love being under the sea as well.
All right. Well, Roy and Carlos, again, I can't thank you guys enough for bringing us to the bottom of the ocean. It's an absolutely amazing experience that you're having, and that you're sharing it with us just makes it so much more special. So thank you so much. We have one more hangout to go today before I guess you go back to the surface, and you'll be heading back to Enid, Oklahoma.
I know, yeah.
All right. Well, boys and girls, thank you so much. What I'd like to do at the end is turn the mics up so we can say goodbye and thank you to Roy, to Aquarius, and to Carlos. And then we'll sign off for today. So here we go. Microphones are turning on nice and loud, guys. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your days. We're signing off, and we'll be back on in probably the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Mrs. Schroeder, if you hold on just a second.